And welcome to how to disassemble your x-axis, your z-axis, I'm sorry, and work with your machine in order to mount this router bracket. So let's get started with that. In order to get started, you're going to need an Allen key set, or in this case we have a couple of Allen wrenches here, and then of course you're going to need a small Phillips head screwdriver. Have those available so that you're able to disassemble this part of your machine. Now, right now I have this taken off of the actual x-axis carriage. You can also do this while you're on the machine. The key point here is when you are doing it while it's on the machine, you will put a piece of plywood or a board underneath your work area so that any of the screws and other pieces that come off the machine as we run this will then just drop out and down onto that board as opposed to into the water. Nobody wants that. So let's get started here. What you're going to do is you're going to drop your z-axis as high, or bring this back plate up as high as you can, or from the front end what it'll look like is you'll drop your z-axis down far enough to allow you to access these 4 screws here. We have 1, 2, and 3, 4 right here, and then we have 2 other screws, screw holes there that we are going to access while we're working with this. But before we do anything else, we're going to flip this to the front and we will remove the touch-off switch. So I'm going to move this over this way. What you'll notice here is that there's 2 screws here and it's attached to this screw assembly. For the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and remove 1 set here and 2 set up here. Oh, that was really on there. Well, maybe we won't remove this one for this video here. What we will absolutely need to remove is this screw here. I may need to get a bigger screwdriver for that one back over there. All right, and this one over here. Perfect. This is all part of the touch-off switch assembly. This is the touch-off switch. I'm going to remove this part here. Come on, there we go. And this you would remove along with this one over here. I need a bigger screwdriver. There we go. And you'll remove this cable. Once that cable's removed, we'll go ahead and flip this over onto its front side and work with these 4 bolts here. And this will be a simple process. We're just going to sit around here awkwardly undoing these screws. There we go. Once that's done, this assembly just pops right off. Set this off to the side for future use. And then let's go ahead and get ready to mount our router bracket. Now, the plasma used only 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts here. We're going to go ahead and do the same with the router, but the router is going to be mounted a little bit lower, or in this case, actually higher. It mounts to these 4 bits here. So, in order to do so, turn it on its side, or if you're working with the table, it's just going to be permanently affixed that way. You can set this bolt on either side. You just choose which side you want it to be on in terms of flipping. It is symmetrical in that way, so it doesn't quite matter as much. I'm going to go ahead and line it up here, And using the same wrench, we're going to go ahead and attach these 4 screws here. And let's make sure. Perfect. Okay. And one at a time. Putting it together loose so that we do get proper fitment on everything before tightening everything down. Look at that. Like a glove. Beautiful. Tighten those just a hair. Flip upwards. And do the same to the opposing sides. One. And finally, number 4. Okay. Now tighten these down as tight as you'd like. Again, we don't want to break the threads inside there. We just want to make sure that it's secure, as this part will be receiving a lot of tension from a lot of vibratory forces, let's call it that, to force this to potentially come out if you don't tighten it properly. And that is how you mount the router block onto the Z-axis. That will get you going in terms of starting to work with the router. From there, we'll go ahead and start working with the post-processor, so on and so forth. So that'll get you there, and we'll move on to the next video.